What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we're back with another Ark Insight. And today we are taking a look at the Rex versus the Allosaurus. Now, if you haven't seen one of our Ark Insights before, pretty much what we do is we go through their stats, their abilities. Yes, hello there, Mr. Rexy. What they can do, what it takes to tame them, and whatnot. And then we put them in a battle to the death. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the Rex's base stats at level 1 are 1100 health, 420 stamina, 500 weight, 125.8 melee damage. So that's a pretty solid amount. Obviously, Rex is pretty much one of the king predators of Ark. We come across to the Allo, 630 health, 250 stamina, 380 weight, and 125.8 melee damage. So there's a big difference in terms of health and stamina between the Rex and the Allosaurus. But the Rex's stamina depletes a lot faster than the Allosaurus. I can tell you that now. It does that for sure. So let's get into a test to see how fast they are. Okay, so we essentially made them run from this point of the rock to the end, to the beginning of this rock just up here in front of us that you can see. Now, the Rex manages to do it in about 6 seconds, which is a pretty impressive time. You know, you can see these, considering he's such a big dinosaur, 6 seconds is relatively fast. We're going to leave this guy here because he's going to take forever to get back. But you can see that at level 1, his stamina only really lasted for about 7 or 8 seconds. It was pretty much diminished when we got off him because he was starting to slow down. So their stamina is horrible at level 1. Now, if we jump on the Allo here, you'll see that his time is pretty much exactly the same. Pretty much a little bit faster, I would say, than the Rex. You can see there, he manages to do it in about 6 seconds like the Rex. So they're pretty equal in terms of speed. However, the Allo does have an extra few seconds of stamina usage in comparison to the T-Rex. So they're both relatively fast, both got terrible stamina. So you're definitely going to want to level up their stamina when you tame some of these guys up. But now that we've got them here quickly, we're just going to go over some of their abilities. So the Allosaurus actually has an ability when he's in a pack of 2 or more Allosauruses, where he gets a pack bonus, and it essentially allows him to get a secondary attack, which is called Gnash, and that Gnash attack essentially bleeds the victim, dealing a portion of damage over time. I think it's 5% of the dino's health over 10 seconds, I believe, if I can remember correctly. So it's an incredibly powerful attack. Obviously, the higher the dino's health, the more damage the Allo will do, which is a great way to take out higher health dinos such as Rexes, even Gigas. Take a pack of Allosauruses with you and you'd be surprised at how much damage their Gnash ability is able to do to Gigas. Now, as well as that, while they are in a pack, they also get a Roar ability when there's 2 or more of them, because they're in a pack, obviously, they get the pack boost. Now, that Roar doesn't do anything, it's just an extra little notion for them. But other than that, they do get increased stats while in a pack, more melee damage, as well as stamina reduction usage. So that's a great way to get a very strong bunch of mounts and just tear the whole of Ark apart with Allosauruses. Now, the Rex, due to the TLC update, has received a rework, and he now has the ability to do a roar, which causes poor little dinosaurs in front of you to literally shit themselves. Any wild dinosaurs or player dinosaurs that are lower than the level of the Rex will shit themselves. But take in mind, if you are lower than them, they won't poo themselves. You see this Parasaur here in front of us does not give 2 hoots about us because our Rex is only level 1. So do take that into mind if you plan on trying to poop lock some dinos, because it won't work if your level is too low. But other than that, they do have the ability to walk over rocks a lot better now, as well as their primary attack, which deals a crap ton of damage. You can see there, we're hitting for 78. That is their base melee damage on level 1, 78 damage, which is a pretty solid amount. Now, like I said, they do have the ability to walk over rocks a lot better now. However, you do have to make sure that the rocks aren't equivalent to the size of their legs. If you remember correctly, before the TLC pass, the Rexes were getting stuck on rocks all the time, and it was just a huge pain in the butt for everyone involved. Wow, okay, I didn't expect our Allosaurus to go launching. Okay, so you saw how much damage our Rex did to targets. 78 damage was how much it did. The Allosaurus does 44. However, a big difference between the Allosaurus and the Rex is that the Allosaurus actually attacks faster than the Rex does. So take that into mind as well when you're planning on taming these guys up, because the Allosaurus does attack faster than the Rex. Does do a little bit less damage, but you know, with the Gnash ability as well as a pack boost, which the Rex can't get, you can also get mate boosted as well, which also increases the amount of damage Allosauruses do. Rexes obviously can get mate boosts, but they can't get the pack boosts. So do take that into mind as well. Okay, we're going to quickly go over their turning radius now. You can see here the Rex is turning, you know, pretty tight. They've fixed his turning radius quite a lot since the TLC boost, and he's now turning a lot smoother than he was before and a lot smaller circle. So he's definitely a lot better at turning now than he was previously. The Allosaurus has always had a pretty good turning circle. You can see here he's pretty tight, much like the Rex. Actually, I would No, I'd say they're pretty equal actually in terms of turning radius. You can see that I'd say they're very equal in terms of turning radius now that I look at it properly. So do take that into mind as well. But now we're going to test how much they can potentially gather. Okay, so we've got two stego corpses in front of us, perfect for the picking. We're going to use our allo on one of them and then the Rex obviously on the other. We're just going to make sure our inventory is clear of anything just to make sure that we don't get confused. Alright, let's go. So you can see there 74 raw meat, 4 raw prime meat, 47 hide, and 4 keratin. You can see there that's a pretty solid amount of meat gathered from a single stego. Like, you've got to admit, 44 meat, 34 meat. No, that's yeah, 20, 40, 60, 74 meat. Sorry, I don't know what I'm thinking. It's been a long day. 74 meat and 4 raw prime meat is a pretty decent amount. 47 hide and 4 keratin as well. Take that into heed. Now, let's jump on the Rex. I can tell you now that the Rex will definitely gather more than the Allo did just because he's much larger. He's got a much higher melee damage. And, like, look at the size of his jaws. So there actually wasn't too much of a difference between raw meat and raw prime meat between the two. The Rex managed to gather 5 raw prime meat. He just accidentally ate them because he was hungry. And as well as that, he got 74 raw meat as well. So there's not too much of a difference between the two, which is pretty cool. Now, one little thing that we did forget to mention with the Rex as well is that he actually has a tech saddle for himself, which is a great addition, obviously, because lots of people are going to be using Rexes, so take that into mind as well. But you can see the tech saddle costs a lot to craft. However, the Rex saddle is learnable at level 74, whereas the Allo saddle is learnable at a lower level. You can see there's 67, not much of a difference, but still a difference. But either way, these guys are both powerhouses of Ark. Next up is a battle to the death between the two. One other test we forgot to do before we stuck them in a battle to the death is their swim speed. Obviously, these guys have horrible swim speed. You can see here, the Allo's, you know, it's obviously going to be okay for passing through rivers and whatnot, but don't plan on taking it too much swimming. It's a horrible swimmer. Now, the Rex, on the other hand, is a lot slower than the Allosaurus. It just looks like he's going further because he is much bigger than the Allosaurus. But other than that, you definitely don't want to take these guys swimming. They are sloths when it comes to the water. And the T-Rex just looks like a gigantic dog doing the dog paddle underwater. It's hilarious. So don't take these guys swimming anytime soon into open waters because you probably will lose them. So I don't recommend doing that. Alrighty, now we can get into the battle to the death. Okay, these two guys are ready to go. The Allo is ours. The Rex has been unclaimed due to the Rex having more health and whatnot. So the Allo is going to get the first hit in. They don't have any saddles. Honestly, I think the Allo will lose, but actually, you know, you can see that he managed to get a bit of damage off there. That was pretty good. But you can see his attack speed is faster than the Rex's. However, the Rex does have a slight knockback ability on his damage. You can see there. But the Allo's health just doesn't compensate for the amount of damage that the Rex is doing. Especially since that the Rex does more damage, has more health, and it's not in a pack. However, I can guarantee you that in a pack, the Allos would actually win. However, that is not the point of these videos. These videos are just for their statisticals and to see who would win. Calm down, big guy. Alright, so he's on about half health. The Allo did about 600 damage to the Rex, which is a pretty solid amount of damage if I do say so myself. So when taming these guys, it all comes down to personal preference. Obviously, a pack of Allos can definitely pack a punch against anything, but so can an army of Rexes. Obviously, Rexes are used to take on the bosses. I personally go with Rexes, but Allos are just as good. So it all comes down to you. But other than that, guys, that'll pretty much conclude today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you've got any other ideas or dinosaurs that you want to see in the Ark Insight, feel free to let me know down below. But don't forget to check out the playlist of Ark Insight. Chances are I've already done the creatures that you want to see fight and test their stats, so make sure to check that out down below, guys. But other than that, thanks very much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.